Hello and welcome back. We were halfway through the writing skills for level 2 functional skills. We're now going to look at using different languages and registers to suit the audience and its purpose. The aim of this session is to understand persuasive writing, or understand what persuasive writing is. You should be able to use emotive language, use direct address, use rhetorical questions, use the rule of three, use the hyperboles, and use repetition. You could use all of the above to create on a regular basis. So persuasive techniques. There are several techniques for writers to use to persuade the reader to their point of view. So you can see on there, we've got emotive language, direct, rhetorical, questioning, rule of three, the hyperbole, and repetition. In the writing assessment level 2, you may be asked to write an article, letter, or email to argue the point or persuade the reader to help the author viewpoint. Knowing these techniques will help you. So if we look at emotive language is when words are used deliberately in an attempt to make the reader feel a connection to the emotion. So read these sentences. Okay. So the Cheltenham Festival, which is held every March, is an event at which the racing industry parades in all its finery and receives uncritical, flattering coverage from selections of the media. It relies on in reality, it is a graveyard for horses. The high death toll and the overuse of the whip makes Cheltenham an event that for many embodies all that is unsavoury about commercial racing. So the question here is, what do you think the writer's viewpoint is? And I think it's very clear from here, it is a graveyard for horses, that they're very anti this, that it's an antiquated system, it's not current, we don't need it, and it's almost a death sentence. How do you know this? Because again, that's what we're assuming. That's kind of the way they've written it, and it's very clear afterwards. It says the high death toll there and the overuse of the whip, so it doesn't leave any room for your imagination to not kind of think about it. So read this paragraph. Which are the emotive words? So if you really care about animals, so that's quite an emotive word, isn't it? If you really care, the best way to help them is to stop eating them. I think that could be quite emotive. Only by rejecting animal exploitation in all its forms, farming and slaughtering. So again, there it's giving you some detail there, isn't it? So looking at emotive language then can help you I kind of get the reader in. So there you go. So stop eating them, reject animal exploitation, it's a cruel industry, animals suffer, and ending cruelty. So emotive language here then, create your own sentence. You've been asked to write a leaflet about a charity that provides clean water in the developing world. Write 3 sentences that, first of all, that makes the reader feel guilty. So I guess you could say here something along the lines of, do your children have to drink dirty water? So using children's would be quite emotive. It would make you think about your child and somebody else's. It would make them feel donated, and then by doing something like that, you would donate money. And here you can see, like it says straight underneath, no parent should be forced to give their child unsafe water. Innocent's baby have already died because of water-related illness. Every drop saves lives, and we couldn't do this without your help. Good. So that's emotive language. Direct address, using you or we in persuasive text, serves 3 purposes. It builds a relationship with the reader, it makes the reader feel involved and important, and it makes it difficult for the reader to dismiss the text. So look at the difference in these pair of sentences. So in personal, everyone is concerned about the pollution. With direct address, we are all concerned about pollution. In personal, sun exposure can cause skin damage, or with direct address, sun exposure can damage your skin. So you can see here, by being direct with somebody, you can change the sentence to have a bit more meaning and be a bit more impactful. So now turn these impersonal sentences into direct addresses. Everyone needs to listen. So that's impersonal. If you want to make it personal, something like along the lines of, you need to listen. A visit to the castle will be interesting. What could that be? You'll find a visit to the castle interesting, maybe. Every visitor is welcome. But if you want it personal, maybe you're welcome. And it is encouraged to give blood, or you're encouraged to give blood, or we encourage you to give blood. There we go. So rhetorical questions. A rhetorical question is a question that doesn't require an answer. Not rhetorical. Rhetorical. Sorry, I'm saying it wrong. A rhetorical question is a question that doesn't require an answer. They are used to grab the attention, to make them think about something. How would you feel if you had no choice but to make your child drink unsafe water? 2.1 billion people worldwide lack safe water at home. Which of these questions are rhetorical? So, how long will the meeting last? Well, you kind of feel you've got to answer that one, so probably not. How would you feel if your street was full of rubbish? So, how should I know? Is it a bank holiday tomorrow? So, I think it's that one. Yeah. There is no point, is there? So the others are rhetorical. Yeah. So now write your own rhetorical questions in these situations. Residents aren't using recycling options available. So a rhetorical question, so meaning you don't need to answer this, would be something along the lines of, do you want our planet to die, or something? Are you happy? No, do you want your planet to die, or something? Yeah, there you go. Pedestrians aren't crossing the road safely. So, are you deliberately trying to hurt yourself? Are you hurting? Yeah. Are you trying to hurt yourself? There. A child's bedroom is always untidy. I think this one was given to me from my mum. Do you like living in a pigsty? And someone at work has made a mistake. Do you know what you're doing, or something like that? Do you think about what you were doing? There. So the rule of three, there is a technique where 3 words or points are made right after each other. A miles a day helps you work, rest and play. Stop, look and listen. Blood, sweat and tears. Friends, Roman countrymen. So now use the rule of 3 to write a sentence for each of these situations. Residents aren't using recycling options available. That was a bit hard, right? I was going to go recycle. That sounds a bit like a Theresa May thing. What about reduce, reuse, recycle, or recycle, reuse, reduce? Yeah. Pedestrians aren't crossing the road safely. Well, that's going to be stop, look and listen. A child's bedroom is always untidy. A clean bedroom, work, rest and play. Or a tidy bedroom, a tidy mind. No. Or clean it, bin it, put it away. someone at work has made a mistake. Something like check, check, check again, or ask, check, and check again. Ask, check, and check again. There we go. So hyperboles, so the exaggeration. So this is a technique where exaggeration is used to create a strong effect. In fact, hyper means over and boil means through. So it means taking things a little too far or more than just an exaggeration. Look at these examples. What do they actually mean? I hear that one, if I hear that one more time, I'm going to move to Mars. In other words, I'm sick of hearing it. The writer is fed up with hearing it. I'd rather kiss a toad than miss my dance class. In other words, I would rather kiss a toad than miss my dance class. In other words, I really enjoy going to my dance. I don't want to miss it. She has a million pairs of shoes. She has a lot of shoes. Yeah. I am dying of shame. I'm embarrassed. Yeah. So hyperbole being exaggerating or exaggerations is a formal way of trying to get your point across. So read these sentences and say what they mean. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. It's common knowledge. I've been to that restaurant a million times. What do we reckon? They've been there a lot, right? Yeah. Tim was dying to start his new job. So he was excited to start his new job, or he was looking forward to starting his new job. Yeah. The day dragged on. Well, we always say that, right? Like an eternity. It was a long day. It felt like a long day. There we go. So we can work out what people are trying to say through their exaggerations and those hyperboles. Good. Okay. So another way for writers to enforce what they're saying is through repetition. This is a technique where words are repeated to stick in the reader's memory. It helps reinforce the writer's point with which words to repeat here. Now, interesting. So if you know Cocomelon, so if you've got children or you've watched Cocomelon and you can't get it out of your head, and that's because they use repetition and they use it 3 times because they always go, I don't know. I've tried to block it all out. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat apples and bananas. And that song is stuck in my head because of repetition. And then what's worse is it goes from eating apples and bananas to eating every fruit under the sun. Anyway, I digress. So which words are repeated here? Lack of access to water is the harsh reality for millions worldwide. Every day, millions of women and girls walk for miles on end just to fetch and carry water, creating a cycle of inequality. Repetition is often used in a speech. So Winston Churchill, we shall fight them on the beaches, we shall fight them on the landing grounds, we shall fight them on the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills, we shall never surrender. So we shall fight, is that there? And Martha Luther King's I Have a Dream, I repeated it in 8 consecutive sentences in his ironic speech. Several of those were also repeated, including Let Freedom Ring and Now Is the Time. So let's have a go. An article supporting the development of a new leisure centre. What do we think? So a bit of repetition in there. Healthy people have healthier lives, or healthy people have healthy choices there. A letter argued against the closure of a library. This was a bit harder, I think. We need books for leisure, books for learning, and books for the future or something. We need books for leisure, books for learning, and books for reference. There we go. An email persuading a friend to join you in a charity challenge. Oh, I promise it'll be fun. Finger first, sorry, guys. So again, it'll be fun. I think that's much easier. Yeah, and ultimately you could have probably used an article for supporting the development of a new leisure centre. Healthy people make healthier choices and healthier lifestyles. I don't know, or fitness. A letter arguing against the closure of a library. We could have learn or something. Right, now try activity 1 and 2 on persuasive writing and then come back. Okay, so welcome back. Here we are for the quiz. Let's now put it all together and see how we're getting on. What is the rule of 3? We've just done that, haven't we? So is it the exaggeration and the hyperbole? No. Is it D? It is indeed. Putting words or phrases together to make them stand out. Wonderful. Why are rhetorical questions used? We're saying A, to grab attention, to make readers think. Good. The topic sentence in a paragraph. So the topic sentence in a paragraph. I think you'll find it's D. It gives the main idea of the paragraph. Good. So again, go back to reading and skim reading. We can skim read those sentences. It gives us an idea of whether or not we need to read that paragraph. Which is an example of a hyperbole or an exaggeration? I think it's got to be C, and my feet are killing me. I mean, we all say that, but they're not killing you. They may be hurting, but they're not killing you. Emotive language deliberately tries to make the reader question themselves, feel directly involved, realize why something is important, or is it trying to make them feel something? I think it's D, right? Make them feel a certain way. Good. So let's stop there and try activity 3. Once you've done that, let's come back. So pause, do activity 3 and come back. Okay, so welcome back. Now looking at aims and objectives. So by the end of this session, hopefully you've understood what persuasive writing is. You should be able to use emotive language, use direct addresses, use rhetorical questions, use the rule of 3, use the hyperbole or exaggerations, and use repetition. That was me using humour, by the way. You could use all of the above, obviously on an ongoing basis, on a regular basis. So remember to check your answers and practice. Congratulations, you've completed the module on persuasive writing, and we've got one more to do.